In this video, I'm going to be going over dogwifhat, talking about why I think this could 40x during this next bull run. Going to be sharing with you the chart patterns that I see right now on the chart, where I'm potentially going to be buying more of this coin and when I would potentially be selling. So if you like this type of content, wanting to learn more about the technical analysis of different altcoins, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. All right, let's jump in. So right now I have on the chart dogwifhat. This is on a weekly time frame, and I do have it on a logarithmic scale just so I could see the chart patterns a little bit better. Now, this chart doesn't have a ton of price history, but it is enough for us to make some analysis right now. And the main way that I am looking at this chart pattern is through Elliot Wave. Now, Elliot Wave is a way of analyzing the charts through this theory called Elliot Wave. Basically, behind this theory is that price moves up, and down through different waves. It doesn't always go up, it doesn't always go down. And so a typical Elliot Wave structure looks like this. This is a textbook example where we have a 5-wave structure up, which includes waves 1, 3, and 5 moving to the upside, and waves 2 and 4 moving to the downside as pullbacks. All of that put together creates a wave 1. So it's like waves within a larger wave. Then once we get that wave 1, we have a pullback of waves, a 3-wave pullback, which is also called a corrective phase. And we have an A, B, C pullback, and those three create wave 2. That's a textbook example. So once you understand kind of what that looks like and you can learn to figure out how Elliot Wave shows up on the charts, then you could start to do some analysis, what we have here. So with this, I'm looking at this move up from the bottom over here in January of 2024. I'm looking at this as our wave 1. And I'm looking at this pullback that we've had since April of 2024 as a ABC pattern. So let me actually just label this so that you can see it. We have this A, B, C pattern. And again, this is what the textbook example looks like. Obviously, it doesn't look exactly like that, but you can tell this is an A, B, C pattern. It also subdivides as the 3 waves. So with this could easily be a wave 1 that is up, and this is coming down for a wave 2, just like we have in this pattern. Now, what happens after a wave 2 is typically we have a wave 3 that starts to form as an impulse wave, where wave 3 is actually subdivided into an impulse wave, basically just meaning it's a very bullish pattern if we're moving to the upside. And when you think about where we're at in the crypto cycle right now, there's a lot of evidence to support that we could still be in the early stages of a bull run for the rest of 2025. And so that leads me to believe that dogwifhat right now has some really positive upside, and that's what I've been looking for on a smaller time frame. And so even if we go down to the daily time frame, you could see this 5-wave pattern start to play out even more so. What I'm seeing right now is this 5-wave structure playing out on the daily time frame in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're about to make our way up for wave 5. Let me show you here. So on the daily time frame, I'm looking at wave 1, then wave 2, then wave 3, down for 4, and up for 5 we're going to get here soon. And so I'm looking at this as a very bullish signal for dogwifhat. And you can also see I have the Fibonacci retracement tool on this as well. What this does is basically measures the retracements of different moves up. And typically for a wave 3, so from the bottom of wave 3 to the top of wave 3, we can measure that and measure the retracement of wave 4. And in Elliot Wave, one of the most common retracement levels for a wave 4, this move right here, this pullback, is the 0.382 Fibonacci level. And that's basically where we have price coming right here. And on the daily time frame, we have this doji candle, which is basically an indecision candle. Price doesn't know, where to go. Like buyers, sellers are agreeing with that price. They're not making any moves to the upside or downside. And when we have price coming down into a doji, that could potentially be a sign of a reversal. Not always, but it's price coming down, people agreeing with the price, and we can see a reversal. We could see buyers step in. And at the start of this daily candle, if we see this show green and print green, then I think that we'll be in continuation of that wave 5 right here. So that would be some short to medium term bullish action, basically leading us maybe to the middle of May, where we would see that wave 5 before maybe a pullback for wave 2. Who knows? But I do think this is a very bullish signal, and I'm looking at this structure as a sign for bullish activity and basically a move up. Because if we're looking again at the weekly time frame, my belief is that we are actually in a start of a wave 3. If we also look at the Fibonacci retracement for this entire move, if we put this here, one of the main levels for a wave 2 to retrace back to is the 0.618. It's actually considered like the golden ratio in Fibonacci. A lot of times price will come back to this 618 level. Again, not all the time, but when it does come pretty precisely to this level and start to reverse, that could be the start of a new trend. So that leads me to believe, again, with everything else happening in crypto right now, that this could be the start of wave 3. And again, as we zoomed into the daily time frame, we've got this 5-wave structure that is starting. And so that could, again, give us more evidence that we're going to see price continue to the upside. Now, you had seen previously at the start of this video, I had a Fibonacci extension tool on this larger wave on the weekly time frame. And basically what that helps us do is get estimates of where price could extend to. It's called the Fibonacci extension tool. And how I typically use it is I will start from the bottom of a wave 1 to the top of wave 1 and then back down to the end of wave 2. And basically these different levels are basically comparing the length of this wave 1. So if we were to start down here, basically what I believe is the start of wave 3. Again, we had wave 1, wave 2. This would be the start of wave 3. Then this one level would basically mean that this move up, if we got this move up, that this would be the same length as this over here. It'd be equal in length. If we had the 0.786, that means it's only 78% of this here. And typically in Elliot Wave, wave 3 is usually not the shortest. In fact, it cannot be the shortest and still be considered an Elliot Wave. That's one of the rules. And so one of the ways I like to make my minimum targets is to think of this one of wave 3 at least getting to the 1 level. Sometimes it goes to the 1.272 or even the 1.618. But as a minimum target, I'm looking at this and seeing how this could potentially be a 40x if from where we are currently right now at 56 cents per coin. If we would see this go up to that level, then we'd be looking somewhere near a 40x return in this next bull cycle. And you have to ask the question, well, can that happen? And the answer is yes, it can. There's no guarantee that it does, of course. A lot of this stuff is kind of, just up in the air and we don't necessarily know. And it's important to do your own research and analysis. And of course, I always put the disclaimer, this is not financial advice, but we've seen crypto make moves like that. And even from this start of 2024 up to its all-time high, that was a 75x. So for this to go, 40 in this next kind of run of the cycle is very reasonable. It's totally possible for dogwifhat to do that, again, based off of some of the technicals that we have with Elliot Wave and how we're looking at this chart. So what I have done is I actually bought in on this candle, this green candle right here, because I saw this bullish engulfing candle. One of the signals for me to look a little bit closer is when we have a bullish engulfing candle near support. As I mentioned before, we came down to that 618 Fibonacci level from this entire move. And when we see a bullish engulfing candle, at least for my trading system, I lean in when I see that, because I've seen a lot where that is a reversal and a start of a higher move to the upside. So I actually bought in right here on this green candle. And as I mentioned before, I like to use the Fibonacci extension to measure potentially where wave 3 would go. And I think we would end up at least getting to the 786 level, but I will probably be holding on to this one level if we start to see price continue to go up, just like we expect a lot of crypto as a whole to be going up over the next 6 to 9 months. So I will be holding on until we get to at least 20 with dogwifhat, and we'll be looking at a 40x return. But again, I could be totally wrong. I'm just a dude on the internet doing this analysis, but I have been in this game for a while. I've been studying crypto for multiple years, over 5 years now. And I've seen a lot of different patterns. I've spent a lot of time in the charts, also watching other people, learning from others. And this is what I'm convicted in. I could be totally wrong, but I'm convicted in my analysis. So again, make sure you do your own research and analysis. But more importantly, let me know down in the description box, in the comments, what you think about dogwifhat. Where do you think it's going in this next cycle? Are you bought in? Are you waiting? Let me know down in the comment section. I would love to know. And until next time, thanks so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.